Y'all, according to NBA insider slash podcaster Bill Simmons has said that the Kevin Durant trade going to the San Antonio Spurs is already a done deal. They're just waiting for NBA draft week to announce it, and they got to work out little details, of the trade. But Kevin Durant actually went on his Instagram and posted on his story him in a San Antonio Spurs jersey alongside Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. So it's obvious, man. This is pretty much a done deal. Kevin Durant wants to go to the Spurs. And I think that these rumors are true, man. I think Kevin Durant will be a San Antonio Spur. And what a hell of a team, man. Kevin Durant alongside a young De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. So you got two guys that's damn near 7 foot tall that can shoot threes, that can ball handle, that can get to the rim. This might be a scary team, y'all. Kevin Durant, he may not be getting back to the finals, right? He may have not been to the finals since he left Golden State, right? And we got to be honest. Kevin Durant's leadership skills have been questionable. We have seen on the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns that Kevin Durant has failed to be the same leader that he was in Golden State. And let's be honest, he really wasn't the leader of that Golden State Warriors team. It was Draymond Green. And secondly, you got to say Steph Curry. Remember, they already won 2 championships without Kevin Durant. You understand what I'm saying? They won 2 before he got there. No, excuse me. They won 1 before he got there, and they won another one when he left. And they had the best regular season record of all time the year before he got there. And they eliminated his ass out of the playoffs when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder with Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? So, but Kevin Durant, who's 36 years old, he's going to be turning 37 in September. He is still averaging 26.6 points per game. And last season, he shot 52% field goal percentage. That is incredible. For Kevin Durant to still be playing at such a high level after he tore his Achilles his final year in Golden State, that is incredible. And you combine that with the fact that Kevin Durant is 6'11", he's damn near 7 feet tall. We got to give credit when it's due, man. When you think about scores, Kevin Durant is arguably, one of the best pure scorers in NBA history, bro. For him to do what he does at his height is incredible. So you're going to have a team with Kevin, Victor, and De'Aaron. Alongside, you got the young guys, like Steven Castle. You got Jeremy Socon. You got Devin Vassell. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a hell of a team coming out the West. And I do think that this is a better fit than when he was on Phoenix. You also, you got Harrison Barnes, who won an NBA championship with Golden State. So they got that championship pedigree. You got 2 guys that have already won NBA championships on the same team. Harrison Barnes and KD, they both won a ring in Golden State. You know what I'm saying? And, I think this is a good move for Kevin Durant. But I just hope that this doesn't go the same way it went when LaMarcus Aldridge went to the San Antonio Spurs. Because LaMarcus Aldridge, when he requested a trade to when he ended up signing to the Spurs in the offseason, the free agency, he was the same age as Kevin Durant is right now. And LaMarcus Aldridge, bro, it's like as soon as he put that Spurs jersey on, it's like he lost all of his aura. LaMarcus Aldridge was a guy that can post up, hit shots in the paint, you know what I'm saying, post up and hit jumpers. He could shoot threes, he could dunk, get rebounds. And when he got to the Spurs, bro, he just wasn't the same, bro. Like he went from playing like a superstar to playing like a goddamn role player. And I just don't understand what was the cause of that. You understand what I'm saying? Let's look at LaMarcus Aldridge's numbers when he decided to go to the San Antonio Spurs. I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So his last year in Portland, he averaged 23 points per game, right? And then his first year in San Antonio, he averaged 18 points per game. Second year, 17 points per game. So that's a pretty significant drop off in points per game, right? But then the following season, he started averaging 23 points per game, 21 points per game, then 18 points per game. And then his final season in San Antonio, he averaged 13 points per game. So it was like a slow drop off. Then at one point, he started averaging his normal numbers that he was averaging in Portland. But, he just was never able to, get to the Western Conference Finals or the finals on the San Antonio Spurs. And I want to see Kevin Durant win a championship before he retires, because if he doesn't, we all know his legacy is going to be he needed Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to win 2 rings. That's what put a permanent doodle stain or curry stain or coffee stain on his legacy was him going to the team that he lost to that already had 2 superstars and, going to 3 straight NBA finals with him. And once you left, you was never able to get back. We didn't seen KD get eliminated by a young team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, So Kevin Durant, this is the last chapter of your career. And, let's make it happen, bro. Get you a chip. I don't think that the Spurs are going to re-sign Chris Paul. I mean, they could re-sign Chris Paul and have Chris Paul come off the bench, but I don't think it's necessary, man. I don't think it makes any sense to re-sign Chris Paul. Chris Paul is 40 years old. You got De'Aaron Fox as a starting point guard. And listen, I wouldn't be mad with Chris Paul. You know what? I think the Spurs should re-sign Chris Paul. Because at his age, Chris Paul coming off the bench for De'Aaron Fox, it actually makes sense. Chris Paul is a guy that that he can help his teammates get better. He's obviously a veteran. He'd be a good veteran for De'Aaron Fox. And he has playoff experience. He's been to an NBA Finals. Chris Paul, he doesn't have any rings, but he took that Phoenix Suns team to the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. So you know what? Spurs need to go ahead and re-sign Chris Paul. You're not going to have to pay him that much money. And I think that this team is ready to go, man. Now, my question is this. Will this team be good enough to beat a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder? No. Will they be good enough to beat a team like the Los Angeles Lakers? Yes. Will they be able to beat a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves? I would say no. Would they be good enough to beat a team like the Denver Nuggets? I would say no, because Victor Wembanyama is still very young and he still has a lot of maturing to do. He's still working on his game. He had a great season last season. He did average 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. He had a 47 field goal percentage for the season. So Victor Wembanyama, he's good, but he still doesn't have playoff experience. He's only 21 years old, and you can't expect a guy that young to just win multiple championships at such a young age. Guys, when's the last time you saw a star player that was 21 win an NBA championship? Exactly. So that's my only concern is just youth, but him being on a team with a veteran like KD, a veteran like Harrison Barnes, potentially bringing back Chris Paul for another year, it does help. That definitely would help Victor Wembanyama, but at the same time, you also got to depend on Victor Wembanyama staying healthy. He's had some injury problems. He's 7'3". We all know that tall guys in the NBA, they tend to get injured more than the shorter guys. So that's my only concern. Other than that, man, I like this move for Kevin Durant. I think it'll be a great fresh start. And I think that San Antonio, man, they could build another dynasty with this team. Kevin Durant, he hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. The only thing that he's shown is he just ain't a good leader. And he's shown that, in clutch moments lately, he's fallen short. He's fallen short. But, different teams have different fits, man. And I think this fit is the best fit possible for Kevin Durant going forward with his career. Remember, we were hearing that Kevin Durant was going to go to the Houston Rockets. I feel like that team is just way too young. Now, obviously, you got Fred VanVleet. But other than that, I mean, who else is on that team that's really going to help Kevin Durant get back to the finals? I think this San Antonio Spurs team, I think this fit is much better. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's your boy Wavy. Stay Wavy TV. Subscribe. Follow your boy. Leave a comment. I'm out.